Hey everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to do a follow-up video that was actually a recommendation by Ann Tumblr, which I thought was actually a really great idea, and that is to do a video on some of the movies that I did not get on any of the other lists in the top 10 favorites for each letter. Now, originally I was thinking like, well, do I just pick one from each letter? But I was like, you know what, let me kind of keep with the theme, and what I did is I went back and wanted to pick 10 films that I really either regret not being able to add or that I completely spaced on and was just like, how could I forget that film? And sorry about my hair. I've been trying to limit how often I put any product in my hair since I'm not really going anywhere. And I took a walk earlier and it's a very windy day. Tried to fix my hair a little bit for on camera. I was going to throw a hat on, but I was like, you know what? I'm sure most of you probably don't care anywhere near as much as I do. At least I hope that's the case. So one of the ones that I wish I had included is Brian De Palma's Blowout. I already had a couple Brian De Palma films in other letters, so that's why I kind of ended up deciding just not to include it. But at the same time, it really is one of my favorite Brian De Palma films. You know, all the elements that I love about a Brian De Palma film is definitely perfectly in play for Blowout. Next up is Don Siegel's Dirty Harry, and that's just another favorite that, even so much so that I actually bought all the Dirty Harry movies during some sale on iTunes and sort of did a little mini marathon not too long ago. So this is kind of a one that sort of does represent my love of kind of all of them. Another one that kind of falls in the same line, and that is First Blood. Everyone usually thinks of the sequels, which I do love, and obviously the iconic character of Rambo, but sometimes it's easy to forget how different First Blood is and how it actually does have to do with like post-traumatic stress disorder and everything. And I'm not taking anything away from the sequels because I absolutely love the sequels. But again, there is kind of something really unique about the first film. But again, I'm sort of using this as sort of my love of all of them. Next one is one that a lot of you chided me on for not including, and boy, were you right, and that is The Goonies. I took The Goonies off my list and for the G's, and I don't really remember why. I think because at the time I was like, well, it's sort of an obvious choice, but you know what? It should have been on there. So I'm hopefully correcting that mistake right now by saying, yes, The Goonies should have been on my G list. Next one is another one I got called out on that I should have had on my list for the M's, and that is Monster Squad. I should have also had the Monster Squad on my list. I mean, I even got the chance to see Monster Squad at a drive-in a couple years ago. that was a really cool experience with Fred Decker in person. But yeah, Monster Squad should have been on my list for the M's. Another one that I kind of wish I had included on the M's, and I think I was just trying to make room for a couple other ones, and that is My Bloody Valentine. I think what happened was because I did the review of the Blu-ray, I kind of almost felt like I'd already said everything I wanted to say about the film, and so I was like, I don't need to include it on my list. I should have probably included it on my list because it is arguably one of the best slasher films from the 80s. Another one I wish I had put on, and that was Peewees Big Adventure. Again, another one that, you know, if you grew up with it, it has, oh man, it has so much special meaning. Not too long ago, I got to see it at a midnight show, and that was, you know, that's a unique experience because obviously you're seeing it with a group of people like yourself who, you know, kind of grew up with the film, and we're all adults now. So you're laughing for two different reasons. One, because some of the humor actually is a little bit aimed at adults, and two, just sort of the nostalgia of it and everything. Next one is another one I wish I did include in the R's, but I think that was filling up awfully fast, and that is Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, especially since he passed not too long ago. It's actually fitting. I definitely should at the very least give a shout out to Reanimator because that is the film that for a lot of us, that is actually how we discovered Stuart Gordon. Plus Reanimator is just so amazing and so funny. So yeah, definitely want to include that on this list for Stuart Gordon. Next one is another one actually I kind of wish I did put on my S list because it does have a lot of special meaning for me, and that is Stand By Me. That for me is a very, very special film on a multitude of levels. I mean, one, I just think it's just a great film in and of itself, but also one that has come to be very meaningful for me. I actually watched it just a couple months ago for like the upteenth time, but it's funny how it's taken on even more meaning now than it even used to, because it does make you remember, you know, when you were around that age. You know, I never went looking for dead bodies or anything, but at least I never found any. But I think especially this last time I watched it, it sort of hit me a little harder because the friend of mine who passed away last year, I think that emotion is still there. So when the ending kind of came around, oh man, did it hit me really, really hard. So yeah, so definitely a very special film for a lot of reasons. And then finally, one I really wish I included on the W's, and that is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I am actually really upset. I completely forgot Who Framed Roger Rabbit on the list. To be able to combine all the elements, and I don't mean just from a technical standpoint, which in and of itself is incredible, but just getting all those cartoon characters into the same movie and having the story work as well as it does. And it's also one that also, if you haven't seen it in a while, go back and watch it again, because I think it'll really, definitely make you feel good. So this was actually, again, a longer list, but I decided to chip this down to 10. So yes, there were even other movies, but these were, I think, kind of the main ones. But I will cheat with one thing, and that is I'm actually going to do a very special shout out to the original Universal Monster movies that I did not include, that I should have, or wish I did, but I did want to make room for some other films as well. So obviously The Wolfman was included on my W list. So I'm going to give a special shout out to The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, and The Mummy. I don't want those films to be forgotten. Not that they would, but just want to let you know that they do have a very, very special place in my heart. So that definitely wraps up that whole top 10 thing. So let me know if there were any that you kind of maybe forgot about, you kind of wish you included, or just let me know your thoughts on any of these, or if you think I'm a moron for having not included them originally. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.